My next guest read that report today. Democratic Congressman from Virginia, Eugene Vindman, joins me now. He's also a retired Army colonel who served as a Judge Advocate General, JAG. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. I am really curious about your opinion in particular, because I want to know, is the IG report a, what was the phrase, total exoneration, as Secretary Hegseth says?
That's an outright lie. This report was a damning report on the Secretary's conduct. It confirmed the fact that the information that he was disclosing was highly classified information. In fact, the type of information that would be severely damaging to U.S. national security if it were released. And in fact, it was information that put the mission and service members at risk. And it was only, but for the grace of God, that we did not lose anybody.
Congressman, CNN's Natasha Bertrand is reporting that while the IG found troop safety could have been jeopardized, there were actually no penalties involved. Are you concerned that this is still happening and troops' lives may be at risk if there's no penalty?
Well, I'm certainly concerned about the fact that there's no accountability for this point. I mean, this happened back in March, and now we're in December. And I remember very distinctly in my district, I was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I ran into a mother of one of the F-18 pilots that was in the skies over Yemen for that very mission. And she was outraged by the fact that the Secretary leaked this highly classified information, or at least sent it out on Signal Chat, on an unsecure system. And I asked during a hearing whether he would apologize to this mother, and he said no. And so there has been no accountability to this point, and there needs to be accountability because this report is damning.
You know, on the boat strike, the Wall Street Journal has some new reporting tonight, and Admiral Frank Bradley plans to tell the leaders of your committee tomorrow that the two survivors of that September 2nd strike were, quote, attempting to continue their drug run, making them and the already damaged vessel legitimate targets for another attack, unquote. Would that have made that double tap strike justified?
Well, look, the reporting that I've seen so far, and there are many questions that need to be answered, and so we're going to need to see documents. We're going to need to hear what the Admiral has to say, and the leaders of the committees will hear it. But the bottom line is we've heard reporting that the Secretary of Defense said, kill them all, or words to that effect. And that is the very definition of an illegal order of a war crime.
If you believe that that's an illegal order on its face from the Secretary, what is your assessment of the decision to follow it?
I would say that the Admiral, and he's been thrown very much under the bus at this point, he's going to need to answer some hard questions. And besides that, he's going to, the department and the Secretary need to provide the full video. The President has claimed he was going to release the video. So the full video, all of the surrounding operational plans, legal opinions. I guarantee that this is the first operation of this type. It is very well papered.
That means there's going to be a ton of public, Congressman, excuse me, I don't want to talk over you, but I suspect they would see some issues in releasing it fully publicly for the concerns raised about strategy or other things. Do you intend this to be released publicly for the general public to assess?
Yeah, I think the American public, frankly, deserve to hear. Certainly we in Congress need to see these documents, but there needs to be transparency to the American people. Right now, we're conducting operations in the Caribbean, in the Pacific, targeting these boats and assume for the sake of argument that they are carrying drugs. Being a drug smuggler has never carried the death penalty to this point. And so we're sort of pushing the law into a new direction. That case needs to be made to the American people. And so I think the American people do deserve to see what exactly the government's doing, what these operations entail, who the people that are being targeted on these boats are, and whether or not there's full compliance with the law of war, American law, international law.
Congressman Eugene Vindman, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.